Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have something that a lot of you have been asking for a couple of months now, and that is an updated bag video for what I'm using for when I shoot on the TGC tours or in Div Derby or in Play Now or wherever I may be playing. You want to know what bag I'm using now as compared to what I was using in prior months. So this video will just be going over briefly what I use now in my bag, why I made the change, and how it's been treating me overall. As we hop over to the actual game, PGA Tour 2K21, you will see my total bag of what I'm using right now. So to start off with the driver, I switched from the big boy Bridgestone, which is what everybody was using, especially at like the higher tours. A lot of people use this Bridgestone just because it has max distance. I switched over to the Titleist TSI 3. The reason I did this is because this Titleist comes in an 11-degree variant, which not only gives you an additional yard in the air for carry, but if you get the wind behind you, this driver soars. And I mean soars. I've had 350, 360 yard drives in the air on some holes. It's absolutely ridiculous, especially when you loft it up even more than what it is here. When you get it up into that wind, the ball is carried forever. Now there is a downside to this driver, of course, and that is with the increased loft on the driver. If you have a wind at your face, it is going to get beat down a ton. I find myself having to de-loft just a touch just to get that driver down under the wind, because if you get it too high up in that wind eats it up. So great if the wind's at your back, terrible if the wind's at your face. It's also going to get carried a little bit more left or right depending on a crosswind as well, so that's something that you have to keep in mind. But I feel on a par 5, if you need to get an additional 5-10 yards, winds at your back, this is a great driver to do it, so that you can attack some of those longer par 5s and maybe get some eagles. It also works really well off the deck. The way a driver works off the deck in this game, the more loft you have on it, the more solid contact you get with the driver, which means that you get a better percentage of lie off the deck. So when you pop this thing up, when you loft it up, you get a better percentage of lie, which also makes it absolutely just soar through the air. Especially getting a wind at your back. There isn't many par 5s that I can't get to if the wind's in my back. Even if there's a crosswind, this thing cuts through a crosswind nicely. It's going to get affected more left or right, but it still goes a country mile. So I've liked it. Going into the wind definitely sucks, but overall this is a phenomenal driver to use. Now the only way to get this driver and pretty much all the clubs in my bag right now that I'm using is to do the Season 2 pass on PGA Tour 2K. I just want to say that as well before we continue. For 3 woods, I went with the Titleist TS3. I was using the TaylorMade Sim. I lose 3 yards in total distance, but I get it back in shot shaping, forgiveness, and also distance control. A lot of times I'm finding on some of these par 3s on these courses, I'm in between 3-iron and 3-wood, and I don't want to take the zero sum out of the bag. So I'm in a position of having to partial shot 3-woods a lot. So I took the little slightly small decrease in yardage so that I could get that distance control. Now with the bigger boy driver, I can still usually get almost every par 5 in 2. So it wasn't really a huge detriment to me and my bag. So we went with the Titleist TS3. It just works better with the tournaments that I'm running on plat and overall fits my bag better. At 3-iron, we have the ever trusted, I don't think it'll ever be removed from my bag ever, and that is the TGC Zero Sum 950. It's still the best coming out of the rough, coming out light rough. Sand, it's not as good, it's still fairly good. It gets great distance. It is just a phenomenal 3-iron, and I highly suggest if you're looking for something kind of like in between 3-wood and 3-iron or 5-wood and 4-iron, whatever you're looking for, this is probably one of the best clubs in the game. and it's a TGC club, but it's great, never coming out. For my irons, I am using the Titleist T300s. I'm switching off from what I was using, the Mizuno JPX 921 hot metals. I do lose a touch of forgiveness, but I felt that I had too much forgiveness to begin with. And since I wasn't doing a whole lot of partial shots with my irons, I felt the distance control was kind of useless. So I took the additional distance, I took the additional shot shaping to help me spin the ball a little bit better. The swing plane was just kind of there. Essentially, I just wanted to do distance, shot shaping, and I didn't mind really losing forgiveness or distance control since I'm not really doing any distance controlling with my irons to begin with. So now, instead of the Mizuno JPX 921s, I'm using the Titleist T300s, and I've loved them. This season, honestly, has been phenomenal. I think it's left us with a bunch of great clubs that any user can use. The Titleist sets have been phenomenal. For all of my wedges, I am now using the Titleist SM8s. I switched off from the shorter distanced Mizuno T20s. Reason I did this is I wanted to bridge the gap with my wedges since I'm taking a little bit extra distance. I always had a huge gap because I liked the shorter distance on splash shots with all of my wedges, but I have gotten kind of into a play of playing for partial fast splash shots that have worked wonders in my game. So I'm taking the additional distance to bridge the gap between 9-iron and pitching wedge. I'm using a lot more pitch shots as well with this. I lose a bunch of forgiveness, but I already had so much forgiveness with the Mizunos. We could definitely afford losing some forgiveness there. I gain swing plane, I gain distance. I lose distance control, but since I'm playing more of a fast splash and flop shot, don't have to worry about distance control at all. So I was purely happy with losing distance control too. So honestly, the big thing was just taking the extra distance with these Titleist SM8s to bridge the 9-iron to my pitching wedge. And that's it. I'm still using the Mizuno putter just because I love this Mizuno putter. I don't think I'm ever going to change this putter. I just love the look of it. The nice, like, glossy gray, kind of looks like black in certain light as well. I just absolutely love this putter, and I don't think I'm ever going to change it. It's just a beauty. And that's my bag. That is my total bag right there. I've pretty much exclusively switched over to Titleist. I've been using them ever since the new content dropped, and I have been absolutely loving this bag. Probably the best bag I've put together. I'm playing my best golf right now with this bag, I should say. Now, it could be just because I'm playing for a little bit more fun and not taking it as serious. So that could definitely play a factor in. I'm playing a little bit more as well than I was before, so that could also play a factor. But so far, this Titleist bag has been phenomenal, and I probably will not change it unless they drop new clubs, and those clubs are better than the ones that I have here. That is an updated golf bag. A lot of you have asked me for an updated golf bag in the comments, so here you go. This is what I'm using. If you have the Season 2 Clubhouse Pass, try to unlock them. You can use just regular coins to unlock once you actually, buy it for the $9, I think is what it is. I think it's $9. I think it's great. I think it's worth it. And I love Titleist, so it worked out to buy it and play it anyways. If you're not looking to spend money on Season 2, I still really enjoy the Mizunos, the Mizuno bag that I created. It's just it didn't quite work out for what I was trying to do, but it might work out for you. So if you got maybe Season 1, you can go back and get some Mizunos. Those also worked, but this Titleist bag is definitely my favorite so far. That's all she wrote. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like on the video. Think about subscribing to the channel. Tons of PGA Tour content still coming. MLB The Show is starting up in like 3 weeks. That's extremely exciting. I'll be making a ton of content for MLB The Show, pack openings, theme teams, BR runs, events, rank seasons, play. I'm doing the whole works for content this year, and I'm really excited to jump headfirst into that content this year. So if you haven't, think about subscribing. Join me on this adventure. I stream live over at twitch.tv/RespawnTV. If you want to see the live side of things, you can catch me on Twitter at RespawnTV_. And I hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will catch you on the next one.